I see this technology really as a huge benefit for smaller businesses because it can act as your consultant. It can predict things. It's a prediction engine, right? So if you feed it the right information, it can predict things very, very well.
Today, we're chatting with Mike Serchuk of SWA Technologies.
My name is Mike Serchuk, and I'm co-founder and CEO of SWA Technology. We are a multi-agent orchestration platform built for businesses of just about any size. We have a team of about 19 people, and we built a product that connects businesses with all of the GPTs, all of your favorite models: Claude, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, Llama, DeepSeek, you name it. Bunch of open source models. And we bring all these things to Slack, to Teams, to the place where all of your employees already work. So you can collaborate with the models, collaborate with your employees. You can share the data that you want to share with the models, not share the data you don't want to share with the models. You can connect it to applications like Outlook or Jira or Shopify. Whatever it is that your business wants to use it for, it kind of pulls all those things together and allows you to use any model out there virtually.
Give me kind of the backstory. What inspired you to start this project and kind of bring this to life?
You mentioned in a previous episode about Nike founders starting startups here in the Portland market, right? And I'm one of those, right? I'm an ex-Nike executive or former Nike executive, I guess you should say. And we have a team full of them. We've got 6 or 7 of us, and we all came from Nike technology. We work in various areas of Nike technology, most recently in resiliency and reliability, where we built bots. So we built bots with AI and machine learning technology, and we kind of added those bots to use technology like LLMs. So we're pairing those things to kind of solve these enterprise problems. And we're used to massive companies like Nike. I come from Nike, Staples, Aero Electronics, Nielsen TV ratings. So I kind of got a big background of technology at different massive companies, but also small companies, right? I came from a small family-owned business as well. I've been in the small startups that got acquired by the big startups. And, I've done everything from door-to-door sales to retail sales in my career, right? I've kind of bounced back and forth. I mean, I didn't have I've only got a 5th grade education. So I kind of had to work my own way throughout life, right? Here I am as a ex-Nike leader, and I've got a bunch of ex-Nike leaders, and we saw this big gap in the space, and that technology moves. It moves so fast, and it's hard to keep up, right? Especially generative AI. I think last week you had Claude and ChatGPT and Gemini all release massive models, right? And everybody felt it across the internet because the whole internet kind of slowed down a little bit, along with the Black Friday shopping. So it's moving so quickly that businesses don't know what to choose, right? Do I go with Claude? Do I go with Copilot? And these things don't really know who you are. So every time you have a new conversation with Copilot, you got to explain everything again. You're kind of starting over from scratch. And so we recognize that that doesn't work in enterprises. It doesn't work in small teams. It doesn't work in large teams. You don't want to be tied down. You don't want to be restricted and say, I'm going to pick this one technology, even though there's 100 other ones growing. So we recognize that need. We recognize the ability that, we were all very technical engineers, and we could easily build this system. I shouldn't say easily. I mean, it's a lot of trial, effort, hard work, but I've got like, 12 or 13 people working for free nights and weekends for me. We've got another half dozen people working for me. They're contract and full-time employees. We're all united behind this, this one vision of bringing generative AI technology to businesses of every scale, to democratize generative AI so that the small business that has 10 people can compete just as well with that business that has 5,000 employees, right?
Having a job at a well-known corporation, has its certain benefits to it, obviously. Was that part of the motivation to start something new, the fact that you wanted to deliver this to more people and make it more accessible to people? Or was it part the agility, nimbleness of a small organization? What was the appeal?
The appeal for me was more this bringing it to small business, frankly. I don't like the big corporate environments. There's so much dysfunction. There's so much bloat. There's so many people just sitting there twiddling their thumbs, right? And now we have this amazing technology, and they say it's going to revolutionize business, and it is in certain ways, but you still need people. You still need that human in the loop. And I see this technology really as a huge benefit for smaller businesses because it can act as your consultant. It can predict things. It's a prediction engine, right? So if you feed it the right information, it can predict things very, very well with the right model. So that really was our motivation, was to bring this to smaller businesses, the same kind of opportunity that these bigger companies have, that they have with these huge teams, right? Hundreds of engineers. What about the people that don't have any engineers? What about the people that are focused on non-technology? How can they leverage these things and build agents and do all of this fun, predictive analysis stuff without spending an arm and a leg, without having to know a lot about the technology, and without restricting your employees, right? That's another thing that we're doing is we're trying to bring everything to everybody, but with those enterprise guardrails, right? So you have individual model control, you have individual user or team access control. So you can restrict who has access to what. You can control how many tokens people use. But our base platform is built on usage. So you're not paying for a per user seat, which is a huge benefit. You get to use every single model without having to fork over $20 a head for every one of your employees. So you just pay for your tokens, you can pay your usage, you could set your budgets, and then everybody can use it to whatever they want to, right? You have some power users that might use it a lot, and then you may have more casual users that use it only once a week to read emails or file an expense report or connect into Workday to answer HR questions, stuff like that. So we enable everybody in any organization of any size access to basically any model.
On the theme of like empowering and enabling people to do things, I often find that startup founders, especially founders with the similar depth of experience that you have, tend to be the best peer mentors for other startup founders. So is there one piece of advice you would give to somebody who's currently building a startup or who might be thinking about making that leap?
Use AI, use a lot of generative AI. It can be your best consultant, but know that, it's a little pleasing. So you really need it to play that devil's advocate for you and not get so hung up in the individual responses, and look at it as more of a tool. And how do you use that tool? Outside of that, your networks, your friends, your family, your peers, right? They all have wealth of experience in different fields, and they're more than willing to help. I have found so much success from just the people that I've interviewed, just the people that I've pitched my idea to that have given me feedback. That has been the best feedback, is the free feedback from family, friends, my network, previous people that I worked with. And those resources really cannot be spoken about enough.
You've already kind of touched on it. Like, things change in tech fast enough. In the AI world, they're, minute by minute, second by second kind of updates. Like, as somebody working in this new era of technology, do you have a certain kind of touchstone resource that you rely on? It could be informational. It could be just trying to survive as a human in this new brave world. Like, is there a resource you find yourself going back to time and time again?
It's really news, information, media. I mean, your channel, your YouTube channel, talking about, different events here in the Portland area. That's been very helpful. Communicating with local startup founders, just getting out there to understand what other people are doing, how they're doing it. That's the biggest struggle I think that any startup founder has, is the blind spots they don't really know about, right? So if you talk to other people and you ask that same question of, what have you struggled with? Benefits. That was a huge one for me, right? People don't talk about how do you get employee benefits at a reasonable price, right? We're a 100% remote company and we're nationwide. So that took a good 4 or 5 months just to get decent benefits. And it's information like that you don't think about as a founder, but you really need to, because if you expect to wear that CEO hat, right, you can't be focused on just technology or your product or whatever those things are. You got to focus on your whole company. You're going to have to deal with HR complaints, right? You're going to have to deal with salary complaints. You're going to have to deal with funding issues, timelines and projects. So you've got a lot that you've got to, wear a hat for.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that you touched on that. That's often one of my go-to kind of like things I say to startup founders is like, the thing that motivated you to start the company, once you become a founder, you don't get to do that fun thing anymore. You have to do all the unfun stuff associated with running the business, and benefits, especially if you've had employees who are used to being in a corporate environment where benefits are part of that package. Like it makes sense that that would be something that your startup would have to think about first and foremost to get the right people on the team.
Yep, for sure. And it's not just that though. Another thing that I don't like about the big corporate environment is that, they you need benefits. Everybody needs benefits, but you always hear like, oh, you're the family, you're a part of the family, and you want to grow with the company and the organization. But at the end of the day, when your stock prices started to take a hit, everybody's a number, right? So I'm kind of hoping to avoid that with my company and have healthy employees. So I want good benefits. I want good care for my people. We're a small, very close knit team, and that's really what we started with, right? Was we had the team first, and then it was, okay, what can this team do? Well, we can do all of these cool things, and we really like this, and so we kind of went down that problem solving with our skill set.
You've been incredibly helpful with your insights. How can we, the listeners, be helpful to you and what you're trying to accomplish?
So we are a quiet, self-funded stealth startup. We are just now soft launched on the Slack marketplace. So you can find our tool called SWA, and you can install it in your own personal Slack marketplace or your company's marketplace, whichever. You can use it as an individual. You can use it as a family. I definitely do use it as a family with proper supervision of my 3 kids. But if you want to try our platform, give me some feedback. I would appreciate that greatly. That is all we're looking for right now, is just feedback. You can try our starter plan for free. I did set up a coupon code for Silicon Florist. So if you just type in Silicon Florist, you'll get the first 3 months completely free. And please give us some feedback. It's paramount to understand, what are your struggles? What do you want to use Gen AI for? I heard one of our interviews with somebody who was providing feedback for a big company. They said, dream state is that you can have access to Workday and be able to just ask a question, and it limits that user's access to what they have access to in Workday and can answer it. And it's feedback like that. It's like, oh yeah, that would be totally awesome, and I can totally do that, right? And now we're building that. So it's feedback like that keeps me motivated, right? I like waking up in the morning and finding out all the cool new things that this platform can do. So even though I'm a CEO, I'm very much hands-on, and I hope to never leave that aspect of my role.
Do you have a startup story to tell? I would love to hear from you.